So in episode 4 of this series, we're going to start piecing everything together. We're going to talk about how a casino on a cruise ship is actually rating you. Is it average daily theoretical or is it average trip theoretical? I got that information for you, plus a lot more coming up right after this. Welcome to Cruising on Comps. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. This is Cruising on Comps. When it comes to ADT or ATT or LMNOP, there's a lot of confusion in the casino industry about these terms, and there's definitely a lot of confusion on which one of them applies to cruise ship casinos. ADT, average daily theoretical. ATT, average trip theoretical. So what I have had the opportunity to do is I spoke with a gentleman who definitely would know the answer to this question. Just a few months ago, interviewed him on the channel. He is the co-founder and the CEO of URComped, Mr. Craig Shacklett, and he's got 20 plus years of experience in the industry. He works daily with all of the major cruise lines. He definitely would know this information. So let's see what he had to say in that interview when I asked him this specific question. When it comes to cruise lines, do they look at daily theoretical or do they look at trip theoretical, or is that a question you can answer?
It's usually trip theo.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the offer is going to be based on trip theoretical, whereas most land-based casinos will be on daily theoretical. And reason being is that most people are taking 5-night, 7-night cruises. There are 3-night cruises, things like that, but they look at like, okay, if we get a person on board for 5 nights, 7 nights, how much are they going to play? Because somebody that could go hard for 2 nights in Vegas, can they keep up that pace for 5 nights, 7 nights? So cruise lines tend to look at their history across an entire trip, and then the land-based places are mainly ADT.
So right there is your answer. It's average trip theoretical. So what do we do with that information? Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to break down what that actually means, the formula that the casino is going to use in order to assign a player their theoretical. And because I just have been on one Royal Caribbean cruise and I have all of the data, my gambling data from that cruise, we're actually going to be able to kind of figure out what my theoretical is in Royal system. So let's jump into those numbers and I'll show you how this is figured out, and I'll give you some tips on how you can figure yours out as well. So if you're new to the channel, you may not know, but I've actually created an app called the Gamble Tracker app. And the reason I bring that up is because it's where all of the figures that I'm about to give you are kind of coming from when it comes to my data points from my cruise. It's 100% free. You can get on my website. I'll post a link down in the description. I strongly encourage you to do that. So here's what we're going to look at. I know how much coin in I had on my cruise, and I know how many hours I played. I also know the average spin count per hour because I played on slot machines. And that's about 500 spins an hour. What I don't know is the house edge, but we're going to say that the house edge is at 12.5%. Okay, I think that's probably in the ballpark for most slot machines on a cruise ship. So here's the calculation that the casino is going to use in order to figure out my theoretical value. It's average bet times decisions per hour times how many hours played times the house edge. And when we run those figures, that puts me at a theoretical value of somewhere between $3,100 and $3,800. And we're going to just put it at $3,500 for easy calculation's sake. So $3,500, I feel very confident is the ballpark of where I'm at in the system from a theoretical value perspective in the casino's eyes. Now, how much I lost or how much I won on that cruise is irrelevant to that number. It is the theoretical loss that the casino anticipates over time to make off of me through my gambling habits of that cruise. Has nothing to do with my wins or losses. Got to remember that. Okay, so then I can take my most recent offer that I got from Royal Caribbean, and I go to Google Sheets and I list all of them. And it took some time, but you got to do your homework in order to figure out what your value is. Then I list what the retail cost is of all those cruises. Then I list what my cost would be on all those cruises. Then obviously that gives me a value calculation of how much I'm saving on each cruise. Then I can take, and in my instance, there were 70 different sailings. I had them all listed, and they ranged in value from over $3,000 to less than $1,000. But the meat of that sandwich landed right at about $1,750, which is about 50% of what my estimated theoretical value is to the casino. Now, they're not giving me 50%, or they're not assigning me a reinvestment percentage of 50%, because there is a difference between what my cost would be and what it actually cost the cruise ship to put me in that cabin. It's significantly different. So just for argument's sake, let's say it's 50% of that $1,750. We can take that number and we can calculate what is the reinvestment percentage that Royal Caribbean is using based off of my theoretical to get me back on the ship. Okay? So let's say it's somewhere between 15% and 25% is pretty common when it comes to a reinvestment percentage to get a gambler back into the doors of the casino. It's going to be 25% on the high end because of something. Anecdotally speaking, I am new in Royal's system, but I experienced the same thing with Carnival. When I first started getting offers from Carnival and the offers that I'm getting now from Royal, there's a couple of cruises that are very valuable. Those are the carrots, because right now I have one more cruise booked with Royal, but they're trying to get me to book as many as possible and to not go spend my money in somebody else's casino to spend it in theirs, because theoretically over the long term, I'm worth $3,500 on every trip by the math. So they're trying to get me in the door. I anticipate, just like what happened with Carnival, as I continue to book some of those higher end cruises, those start kind of dropping off because my play average is out and they've got me on the hook. So they don't need to entice me as much anymore. So what we're looking at is probably an average over time, as I continue to sell with them, of a reinvestment value of about 20% on average. Now, if my play changes, that percentage could change. And most likely, if my play changes and goes down, that percentage is going to go down. Here's the thing you have to understand about a comp offer. To you, it is a reward for what you did. To the casino, it is an indicator of how much they're willing to invest in you for what you're going to do. You've created an expectation in the casino's eyes. If you do not meet that expectation, your offers are going to go down. So you have to approach it from the perspective of, you've created that expectation. What was that expectation, or what is that expectation? Can you meet that expectation again? I'm going to be honest with you. I got very lucky on my cruise. It enabled me to get prime and a lot of other things, and I'm very thankful for that. But I'm most likely not going to be able to meet that expectation on my next Royal Caribbean cruise. So when I don't do that, I've created two data points now, and I'm going to have a theoretical for the first one and a theoretical for the second one. And then my actual theoretical value is now going to be whatever the first one is, whatever the second one is, divided by 2. So it's likely going to go down. Right now, I'm in the bucket of balcony offerings on multitudes of sale dates on multitudes of different ships, including some of the newer, bigger ships. Most likely, if that goes down and I drop into the bucket below that, I'm going to go to maybe some balcony offers, probably less selling options, probably less of the newer ship options, potentially drop down into just an ocean view or even an interior. et cetera, et cetera. So it's important for me to understand what the expectation is. And the only way I can know that is by having the data that I have in order to calculate that out. So I know as of right now that the next Royal Caribbean cruise I have booked is in November on the Icon of the Seas. If I do not produce $25,000 worth of coin in and, play for 26 hours, I'm most likely not going to continue to get offers like I'm getting now. In addition to that, what I do with this information, if I know I'm probably going to have lower offers, well, I need to take advantage of the offers that I have if I can. And this is where really sitting down, creating a spreadsheet, listing all of your offers and figuring out what is the maximum value I can get out of this offer when I can take a cruise and afford to do so. That's the number one thing you should look at. Because again, in your eyes, this is a reward for what you did. Don't worry about what's in the casino's eyes until you're thinking about the offer after that. And that's where it comes into play of, do I have the bankroll to be able to replicate the results that I had on the last one when it comes to that formula? Can I replicate that theoretical value in the casino's eyes? If you can't, you can't. And don't worry about it. Take what you can get, but don't extend yourself beyond your limits. Never gamble more than you're willing and can afford to lose. Do not chase a comp just for comp's sake. Spend your time figuring out how to squeeze as much value out of the comps that you have. Don't worry about the ones you're trying to get, but understand what it would take to get them so you can develop a game plan and see, is this reasonable? If it's not reasonable, it's not reasonable. Book the cruise anyway, go on the cruise, have a blast, and do what you're going to do, and then let the cards fall where they may, okay? So very important to understand what your theoretical value is. You're not going to know it exactly, but even now, though you don't have your numbers of, when your last cruise and how much coin in you had and all that, what you can do is take your offer, list all of the sailings, figure out what that average is, and then most likely if you multiply that by 2, that's going to be your theoretical value in the casino's eyes. And that gives you kind of a goal to shoot for. And then it's sitting down and doing the math of, how long should I have to play and how much coin in would I need to have? Reverse engineer that formula to figure out how it got to that number, and that'll kind of give you more data points to understand what you need to do and if you can do it. Okay? That's it for this video. On next week's video, I'm going to kind of take this whole series and squeeze it down and summarize everything. I'm going to throw in a couple of points that I haven't made so far in videos, but this is going to just kind of give you a roadmap to reference as you go on this journey of cruising on comps. And I really appreciate all of the interest and the comments that I've gotten so far on these videos. I think it's very helpful to people, and that's what I'm all about, is trying to allow people to put themselves in the best position to get as much as they possibly can out of their gambling efforts without spending more money to do so. I'd rather you spend less money and get more offers. And I think that if you implement these systems and you stay disciplined and you track your play and you pay attention to what's really going on, you can do that. I know I certainly have. So thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one.